So, my dear Aquarius, the sun has moved into Leo, and Leo is your opposite sign and gives you the strength to go towards your full moon, which is in your next reading. And so here we see the number 8, the 8 major arcana. And Leo as the opposite sign gives you fire, gives you passion. Now, Leo is giving the light to the moon, which is in your sign, and we're going to the right, external, logical, human, to the full moon, and then after your full moon, we're going back to the left, we're going back to the new moon, to the internal, the intuitive, right? And so here we see how you are looking out to the full moon, and here both of them looking into an introverted perspective, right? They're facing the left. Now, what's interesting with that is when I look at it, I see that they're both looking to the left, and I see that Apollo, the sun god, because the sun is a dwarf star, is looking to the right. Now, if I want to become the card, right, not just look at it, I want to become it, and I see that he's looking to the left, and here both of them are looking to the right. So just understand that, right, that when we look at it, we become an observer from the outside. But when we want to become the strength, we need to find the strength within us so that we then can get it out into the world. And he is, of course, shining his light out as a star, but deep within, he is finding the strength to give that light to all within, right? And so it's really beautiful the way we can see how that is playing out. Now the 8 and the 17, when we calculate together, we get the 25, and the 25, when we calculate it together, becomes a 7. And the 7 is the chariot, is the emotional intelligence that we gain when we understand how our opposite sign is challenging us the most, right? But also is giving us the biggest healing lesson. And so embrace Leo, embrace this moment. So this just to sun and moon. And remember, the sun is ruling Leo, and so the sun has come home when it is in Leo. It's almost like that's where the sun feels like, here I am really at my fullest potential, right? Now you are getting ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is the planet of revolution, of new beginnings, and as such you are now ushering in a new age, because when we calculate this together we get the 25, and the 20 is the last judgment, and the last judgment is Pluto, and Pluto is a planet of generations, and so now Pluto is going to be fully in your sign. It is in your sign. It will go back to Capricorn for 2 months, but at the end of November it will be completely for 20 years in your sign, and so there is going to be a big, huge transformation happening in your life. But remember, the 7 is left, and the 7 is bringing you the love and the acceptance that we need to do that kind of transformation, because the 25, the Pluto energy, will be shaking you. And of course the 5 is in there as well. Now in your deck we have here a 5 and a 3. Here with you it's a 10, a 5 and a 2. So there are more combinations, right? The Wheel of Fortune, the Hierophant, and the High Priestess. the Hierophant, and the Empress. So as planets, we have Jupiter, we have Venus, and we have the Moon. Here we have Venus and Venus, because the Empress is Venus and Taurus is ruled by Venus. So just that you understand that and see how she is embracing this wild side, and that's what the Strength card is wanting to tell you. Embrace the strength of Leo, embrace your passion, and then shine like a star, right, out into the world. You are, as Aquarius, the visionary and brings the new ideas to us. And you're the 11th zodiac sign, and as such, you connected with the 11th house of community and technology, right? Just that you understand. You are the King of Swords, and in this deck we have a masculine and a feminine King of Swords, so you can pick whichever one is really talking to you the best. Is your birthday between January 9th and February 7th, then this is your court card. If not, look in the description below. I have listed them all there. You might be the Queen of Pentacles, or then the Knight of Cups, right? So just have a look, and maybe you want to see that reading. So back to the last reading where you had Cancer Sun giving Aquarius Moon the light. 11 cups and 11 coins bring wisdom to living this human experience. Beautiful, because you are the 11th zodiac sign, right? And so as such, the 11 is a portal, and it's interesting that you immediately also have 2, like a 1-1, which is an 11, right? And it's beautiful. You understand that you have in this life that you've chosen a portal, and this portal brings really the light to you. So we begin the reading, and we begin on the position of the court card, right? Because that's the personality that experiences the Fool and the Star and the Moon and the Sun, right? And so we're going to look into those 4 planets, but it's the King of Swords that sees that. And what's interesting is that the King of Swords has come up. So I have a German and an English deck, and so I'm able to show you, you have come up as the King of Swords, but the masculine King of Swords. So there's a masculine side deep within you, and maybe you want to let go. What's fascinating, you have here immediately 6 times the 1. And you had last time, right, 11 cups and 11 coins, but now you have here 6 times already the swords. And so observe what here the samurai is wanting to tell you, and you see how the bird is on his right eye, right? And so when we look from the outside, the bird is on the left, but when he experiences it, the bird is on the right, right? And so really important that you are now seeing that there is something deep within you that is wanting to be just, that is not wanting to use the sword, because samurais never use the sword, only if they have to. And so I think there is something that's wanting to let you know, only use this last sword if you have to, right? And so there is this masculine side that's letting you know, maybe you have to become more masculine and to actually do what you wanna be doing. So then we look what Uranus brings you, and Uranus is basically the Fool, and the Fool is saying begin completely a new way of taking actions, because the 8, the infinite, is here. The 8 you're familiar with, because out of the 17 we get the 8 as a last number, and the 8 here with the Strength card is letting you know the 8 taking those actions in a very clear way is bringing you deeper down into a pattern, into a way of living where you have to make quick decisions, right? Sometimes it's like life throws us something and we need to make quick decisions. And so I think you are learning to make that decision. What is your deck saying? The Two of Swords are coming. The Two of Swords is Moon in Libra. And Libra is the Queen of Swords, your opposite, right? Partner in a way, the feminine and you're the masculine. And so here the Two of Swords is saying, well, you need to take a decision in what you are thinking. So you have one sword here, but you have two birds here and only one hole to enter the birdhouse, and only one after the other fits in there. But you are trying to figure out now something. You need to make a decision, and I think you're gonna have to make a decision really fast. What is bringing the Mother Peace Tarot as an explanation to this? The Five of Wands to the right, and the Five of Wands plus the Eight of Wands are 13 wands. And 13 wands is then the transformation that you need to take care of this decision. It's an important decision. It's a decision that will bring really a new beginning to you, a new beginning where you are understanding very clearly you have to make that decision, because Five of Wands is connected with Saturn in Leo, and Saturn is the world and Leo is your opposite sign. So take part of the action in this world, because Mercury, the messenger, is bringing you the infinite, plus of course here then the 5, you have 13 and 4 are left. So the 4 and the 2 is a 6, and the 6 is self-love, right? The 6 is always self-love, the 6 is always understanding the teachings in it, because 6 is also a teacher. The 6 is the third eye. So see deep within that you need to use the third eye and are not being distracted by these two birds. You know exactly what you need to do, because the 4 is letting you know you are the one that takes actions in the 4 elements. The 4 elements that are here in this dimension ruling us: the earth, the water, the fire, and the air. And then the 5th element is space around, which holds all the 4 elements, right? And the 2 is the duality. And so the 0 doesn't add to it, and so the 6 is left here, and you're learning something in the way you love yourself. So it could be the 6th of November or the 11th of June as a date where you had to make this decision. Then we look at the star, and the star is bringing you the 6 of Swords. Now you had the 8 of Wands, which is Mercury in Sagittarius. So something is making you think, something is making you wonder, because here we have the 17, which is then, when we calculate it together, the 8 and the 6 is the 14, and the 14 is Sagittarius. And so Mercury in Sagittarius and now Mercury in Aquarius is literally saying, this decision, maybe you have to think about it. Maybe there is something that you need to make sure that that decision is really the decision you want, because the 14 turns into a 5. And the 5, as we know, is always that moment of we know the Hierophant, the High Priest, right, Venus, is then making a decision about love, about beauty, but also about money. And so the 5 is talking here. What is Uranus bringing? Uranus is bringing here the Queen of Swords. And so you have a companion with whom you get along, because she's also quite mental. She can really help you to become a little bit more feminine, because here you have this masculine attribute, right, of the King of Swords. And now she comes and she's like, but also remember that you can add the feminine. And so she's sitting here, and what's really beautiful is that she's sitting in such a way like he is sitting right up on the porch here, Apollo, the sun god. And you are seeing now that the 5 and here the 7 creates the 12, and the 12 is Pisces, or the 12 is also the hangman, right? And the hangman then turns into a 3, and the 3 is letting you know here Venus is coming, the Empress is coming. So become feminine, allow the feminine aspect in you to help you to be the star that you are, right? And so allow to see that they're all facing the right, they're all anticipating the full moon, right? And so you know that that's a very important moment that is coming to you. What is the Mother Peace Tarot saying? We have the 7 of Cups to the right and a little down, right? So here we have a 7-7 portal, and the 7-7 I leave then as a portal, and we have the 6 and the 17, which is the 23, and the 23 is the 5. So observe the 5 as a Hierophant, right? Because the 5 is inside of your card here, the number 5, the Hierophant. And observe also that you understand here now that something, the 7-7, is bringing you a deeper understanding in how you emotionally want to work out things, because you see she's here in an illusion. So she has this one dove that streams into these 6 cups, but it's facing down and outward. So the illusion of thinking that you can overcome certain emotions, no, you need to look at all emotions, and sometimes you maybe need to sit here, because it's important for you to understand, right? So this is connected with the constellation Venus in Scorpio, and we had the 13, we had the transformation. And when you know that the transformation is imminent through the 13 wands, you know that in that transformation then comes something out of it, because that's what Scorpio does to us. Scorpio is like deep, deep emotions, right? And so recognizing here the illusion, right? Recognizing here that actually in the end, one feeling is the most important feeling, and that's being authentic. I always say love means to be authentic, and in the authentic, all emotions are allowed to be there. And so, yes, if I calculate this together, I get the 14 is the 5, and here the 6 and the 17 is the 23, I get a 5-5. So 5-5, 2 times 5 is to speak about, be creative the way you speak about this emotional transformation, right? And so learn everything you can, because that's what the 6 of Swords is always saying. Learn and study and understand the process, or the alchemical process. Then we look at the moon. The moon is bringing you here the stars in the sky, limitless possibilities. We have the 51, and the 18 is turning into the 9, and the 9 gives itself up, so we get a 6. The 5 again, the Hierophant, the 1 again, the Magician. So you learning to be a star, really truly be a star, because to be a star is up there to shine to all, and not say, oh well, only a few are allowed to have my light. And so see the limitless possibility here up in the sky, and allow them to understand what is coming here to you, because your deck is bringing you the King of Wands, and that's Leo. And Leo is saying, yes, I beat the drum for you, right? I help you. I brought you the 5 of Wands to the right. And the 5 of Wands is Saturn in Leo. And you also have the 8 of Wands, which is Mercury in Sagittarius. And so he's the 5th zodiac sign. So maybe the 5 is leading to being the 5th zodiac sign, being the fun, being the joy, and really beating the drum and being this fiery energy, right? And so the 6 and the 5 is the 11. And the 11, that's you, right? Here, the 11. 11, 11, with the moon in your subconscious, you're understanding more and more who you are and what your mission can be, and to live that mission, to shine a light and beat the drum, because Leo is connected with the sun, and the sun is a dwarf star. What is then the Mother Peace Tarot saying? The 8 of Pentacles to the left are coming up here, and so work on becoming a star, or being the star that you deeply are in your cellular structures, right? You're born an Aquarius, and so you're a star. And so you have become a master in the way you work, in the way you work on yourself. And it's important for you to see that the 8 is pointing to this card, right? And so there is a date, the 11th of August, which is now coming up. So observe, right? But it could also be the 8th of November. See how that works for you, and see that you have now helped through the King of Wands. He is helping you to understand the masculine side, and the Queen of Swords is helping you to understand the feminine side within you. Then we get the Sun, and the Sun is bringing you here the voice, the number 25. And the voice is something where you really understand more and more that the 25 came by putting together these two cards, right? The Star and the Strength. That was the 25, and the 25 turns into a 7. So here Pluto, the 20, the Last Judgment, is bringing you then the Hierophant's power, or here the King of Wands as a 5th zodiac sign. There is someone that is letting you know the 5 is important. The 5 is really the 5 senses, right? The 5th chakra. And learn to put that out there, and really he is beating the drum, and you have the trumpet here, and so there is music that helps you to enjoy, right, what you're bringing into the world, because the Sun is letting you know through the 19 there is a 10. The 10 and the 7 is the 17. That's you. Here you are, allowed to shine, because that's the full moon. It's almost like there is something really strong letting you know this next full moon is really pushing you forward, and you have a Leo helping you in doing that, right? And so the 10 and the 7, the 17, the 8 is left here. Then from Leo comes the 3 of water, and Leo is saying then you can celebrate yourself. Look at this. And yes, celebrate yourself. Do what you need to be doing. Dance and enjoy, because we have here the 17, the 8. The 8 and the 3 is the 11. And the 11, remember, is you. So you see, this is really talking to you. You can celebrate, you can enjoy, you can be inspired through Mercury in Cancer, right? Maybe in the last reading, that's where you had Cancer Sun, right? The 11 Cups and the 11 Pentacles is bringing you the wisdom to live this human experience. And so now you see that it's important that you learn to accept the signs, right? Because what is coming here is the Sun of Cups, and that's Pisces. So maybe you're a little bit more of a Pisces energy instead of the King of Swords. We have a Libra and we have a Leo, right, as a court card, and we have you. And now we have a Pisces, and the Pisces is the number 12. It's 12 zodiac sign, so there is a 3 when we calculate it together, and it's the 3-3. If you accept it, but he is reverse, he's not upright, and look what he does. He's playing the flute, he's having the moment of his life, he's meditating, and he's in love with himself, and the trumpet maybe was a little bit too loud, right? But nevertheless, let it out, because the 7 is the emotional intelligence, and the 7 and the 3 is a 10, and the 10 and the 3 is actually the 13. Again, the big transformation for you to see that you can be a star, right? That the sun is giving you the light, so that you can be a star, and you are a star, and you are supposed to shine up in the sky. And that's where then the stars in the sky, the number 6 comes and says, yeah, you can be a star, you just have to accept that, right? And so the 3-3 clearly is then the degree that the secret brotherhoods have created, and in that degree you understand that you're a master, because you also had here the 8 of Pentacles, which is the master that comes here and tells you, yes, you need to arrive, you need to become the star, you are now ready to be that, and so allow that, right? And so you see here, of course, we can have the 33, and here the 7 with the 10, which is the 17, and then the 8, and there we go, right? You have the 8 left, that's you, and the 33, the mastery in the path of love. But you need to remember this, right? You need to be this. And so here the 11 is letting you know you can achieve to be the star in the sky, which is the full moon, right? And the full moon is gonna be like helping you to really accept the responsibility of being a star up in the sky. So no more making yourself small, no more like, oh well, I don't know, right? Learn who you are, learn to understand what influences you, learn to see your birth chart, right? Learn to know what the other planets do in your system, and become, you know, a master. Become a master that is powerful, and in that power you understand that the 7 cups and the 3 cups are then 10 cups, and 10 cups is again a new cycle that you are beginning, a new cycle that is helping you to shine like a star. So I hope I see you in the next reading. We have then the full moon, right? Sun in Leo giving the light to the full moon in your sign. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.